Okay. We've got to the action of the day, but it is only fair I give the man behind the talent we have, that is our author. In her speech, she did ask herself, this man survived to take care of her, because he himself lost his parents at a very young age. But Alhamdulillah, he himself is a scholar, and it would be unfair for us not to hear from him. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a very big round of applause to the father of the author, Alhaji Sulleyman.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala nabiyil ummi, sahibul shifa fi fasl al-qada wa ala Allahi qasd as-sabil, wa la hawla lana wa la quwwatan lana illa billahi aliyyil azim. Before I turn a word, it will be an episode of what the audience, the people here, what they have just done. And again, there is one man here that I cherish so much. I'm not even happy he made a speech. Meanwhile, he should have stayed calm, quiet, tranquil, without even saying a word. Why do I say this? Human beings have 5 senses. A human being can lose all the senses, remaining one, the sense of touch. But still, we can make a story about that person. Meanwhile, there will be people around him, those who will feed him, those who bring information how to keep him alive all his life. And the reason why I said this, I owe a lot to Dr. Mustafa Hamid. He shouldn't have even uttered a word. His presence alone here says a lot of things, because he's a popular figure, people know him, and he can come here. Still, we shall talk about his being present here for his quietness. And again, he made some speeches about his infancy, which I saw is just some little thing compared to the life that I have gone through. Meanwhile, I lost my parents when they were very young. I used to follow people who were gambling. I put the table of gambling on my head until there are hair lice in my head. When my mother came, she cried. And she was then the richest woman in that village. She said those people I was following, she could have employed them so that they will work for her. But because she wouldn't have time to stay there and take care of me when I was a child. But by God's power, she left me and she was staying in the south, I was in the north. Things were very hard over there. But I was able to survive through this way of livelihood, what I've experienced from childhood. I cannot say them. If I say them, many people will weep. But I was able to survive, and by love of education, my father is a Quranic reader. The whole Ghana, they know him. During those days, people don't cram Quran by heart, but he was able to learn the Quran from one man called Malam Foti from Suhum. He's the Imam, one of the Imam of Suhum. And he writes the Quran by heart with his hand. So I had the best handwriting in Quranic writing because I was following my father. And I stand second to none in the school. Because when my mother came, she has to call a policeman to send me to school. And when she was sending me, the policeman took me on his shoulders When I reached near the school, I told him to bring me down. I look very rustic, very dirty, my hair lies, a lot of things. But you'll be surprised, it took just some few weeks. There was an exam, I became second. I still have my mates, they are alive. One of them is Jaula's brother. He's called Dankasa Harun. If you ask him all these stories, he will tell you. Jaula is dead, he would have told you much about him. There's one man called Jackson, working at the BNI. We came to meet at the secondary school. Then he was telling Jaula that Alhaji is my classmate when we were in secondary school. And then we have a term called easy. What do you mean by easy? It means when we write English, he will finish. Before he finishes, I finish. I say easy. Then Mubarak, that's his brother. He was my classmate. After I left North, I came to Konongo when my mother died. I was very young. So Mubarak was my classmate. I could not speak Twi and other languages apart from English. So when we're in class, if there is something I'll finish, then I'll say Victor. Then he says Conqueror. It means he will also come second after I finish. So we were calling each other Victor and Conqueror. So this is how my education background started. And my love of Arabic also started from Mubarak's father. So I left Konongo to Islamic secondary school because a lot of troubles coming from Konongo, so I had to leave. So my father then was alive that time. He didn't have enough money, but I was able to pay my fees, which was about 33 cedis that time. Only the rich people could pay that fee. And I was the only Zongo man at Islamic secondary school because of my love for Arabic studies. So when Mubarak left to Kuwait, I have to follow him. He had a scholarship, so I have to follow him through my own way. I followed businessmen, I got small money, I traveled to Europe. From Europe, I went to, I met somebody, and then he said, where you are going, if you go there, they will kick you like a dog. I was chasing Mubarak to Klagenfurt. That was in Austria. So I just made a journey just like that. I went to Rome. I met a Ghanaian who said, why are you here? I said, oh, I'm going to spend my summer holidays. He was very surprised. Summer holidays by this time? If you get there and you don't get any job, they will kick you like a dog. So he's traveling to Bologna. I have to follow him because of the advice he gave me. So we went. On our way going, he was telling me about Europe. Then we went to Bologna, from there to Florence. From Florence, I went to Venice with him. From Venice to Padova. So this is how I started. Say, look, you have the Arabic background. If you go to Europe, you will not be able to do. You are very weak. You can't do anything. So you have to go to Arabia. I will buy a ticket for you so that you continue your journey. So he bought a ticket for me. So I came to. He sent me to the train station and told me, you are going to Zagreb, from Zagreb to Belgrade. So he asked me to repeat the same thing. I said, well, from here, where are you going? I said, I'm going to Belgrade. See, you have to learn everything by heart. I had an atlas in my hand. He got the atlas and threw it away. You have to learn everything by heart. So I said, okay. From here, where are you going? I said, I'm going to Zagreb. Yes, he said, now you are learning. So I went to Zagreb. It was too cold. I have to leave the place immediately and board the train again to Belgrade. From Belgrade, I met an Arab man. From there, he took me with his car. The little money I had, his tie got problem on the way. He took the money and then bought a tie. We continued to Syria. It took us 3 days before we reached Syria. Then we stayed there in Halab 3 days. From there, I went to Lebanon. In Lebanon, I was chasing Mubarak to go to Kuwait because I wanted to be an Arab scholar, but I don't have the scholarship. He had it by chance. So from there, I went to Lebanon, and then I was staying in a hotel, very cheap hotel. You stay in 3 rooms, 2 bedrooms. You stay there. From there, you pay some few lira a day. So from there, every day I go out, I watch the streets in Lebanon, how things were going on. Well, I met a Sierra Leonean boy who said he's staying in Sierra Leone, in Lebanon. As what? He said, a student. I said, will you send me to that school? We went there, and then I saw the mudir. I said I wanted to learn. Then he said, how are you going to learn? Here we don't bring people by heart unless your government will guarantee you. I said, yes. I went to the embassy and told them, then they gave me some prospectus. I filled them, I sent them to the ambassador, and he said, no, we don't guarantee people here unless from the Ministry of Education. I cannot do it here. Then what can I do now? He said, keep them in your box so that they will admit you. So I started attending classes, and it was a Shia institution. So I have to learn. I wanted to use the time and learn. But my aim is to go to Kuwait, because there they will pay you enough money so that you can continue your livelihood. So through this place, I started to study the Arabic. Every day they will ask me, where are the distance? I said, well, we've sent them to the Ministry of Education. They haven't replied yet. I started learning. 1 year, 2 years, no reply. So war broke out in Lebanon. So through this wars, we're studying in the war, bombardments and other things. But we were compelled, because I was stranded. I have to learn and make use of the time. So I wrote a poem called طلبنا العلم في الخطر وفي سلمي وفي خطري. We learn from silm, in terms of peace, in terms of war, we're learning. So Israel will come and bomb and go, we're learning. So this is how it started. So I have to travel to and stay in Syria as a refugee. When I went there, I met Mohammed Hassan, the former chief state protocol. He was the only Ghanaian there in Syria. He said, you shouldn't go back to Lebanon. I will help you to register in the University of Damascus. Since you have your education background in English is good, they will admit you. And you have Arabic also. So he did it. And then they admitted me and published me in the news. So that's how I got to learn Arabic and then have the English. And then besides that, I have French, so je comprends français très bien. I know my colleagues and those who wanted to learn French are here, like Faisal and his boss, they are learning French. So moi je parle français bien, je peux écrire français, ça c'est mon domaine. So this is part of the things that I went through. So I will not say much, just to say something about Samiha. What they are doing is part of me, because I couldn't get enough time, and then people will support me like I supported them. I could have been like Dr. Hamid, or beyond that, because I have the potential to study more and do more. So I thank God that why I said you should have been quiet. Without him, Samiha's books wouldn't have gone to this stage. He gave Samiha all the support she needs. And for this, every day in my daily prayer, I say, may Allah raise him to reach the peak of his glory. May Allah let him succeed. All impediments that will disturb him or impede him, may Allah let him pass through.
Hafiz TV, unique every day.